Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Just got done with my workout at the gym. Listened to a lot of podcasts while I was in there. Wrestling Observer, Bauer and Pollock, two of my favorite wrestling podcasts. Both of them were breaking down the story, which talked about Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon having their little the spat in the back of Monday Night Raw. Lots of stories came out Monday night, Tuesday about Brock Lesnar being there at the show, being advertised to be there for the past 6 weeks in Nashville. The fans that were in the building were all expecting to see Brock. I'm sure that some people actually paid to see Brock actually be there. And Brock not appearing on the show, stories coming out about Brock Lesnar leaving, while the show was still on, actually walking out on Raw. The word that was going around was, was he creatively supposed to be on the show and they had to fix it on the fly? Everybody kept waiting for this story to drop. On Monday Night Show, Dave Meltzer talked about the story, but said he didn't know anything on it, didn't want to go into it. Tuesday morning, even Wednesday, stories were pouring out, just basically people making things up or twisting words around, which some people who had backstage things were reporting on. Today, the story is pretty much getting ironed out. So the thing was that Brock and Vince were going over their contract, that would be starting coming out of WrestleMania 31. Brock staying with WWE. Something that was in the contract, something that was being negotiated, couldn't be ironed out. The two couldn't come to an agreement, and Brock left the show. For me, watching the show, it didn't seem like Brock Lesnar was going to be doing much on the show other than coming out with Paul Heyman to sort of have the promo against Roman Reigns. We've seen Brock grab the mic from Paul at some times and deliver his own promo. I think everybody likes the fact that when Paul delivers the promo, it's a whole lot more real than when Brock does it. Brock just doesn't have a good voice. Brock has actually pointed this fact out to himself, that a believable promo comes from Paul Heyman. That's why Brock went into the back after his first in-ring WWE promo and told Vince to call Paul, bring him in, because this is going to make him a whole lot better, and this is going to make both of them a whole lot more money. I'm guessing that the WWE more than likely is going to let this story die. But in my mind, listening to a lot of podcasts, I would think that WWE could turn this into a big story, pushing Monday Night Raw for the next few weeks. It's said that Brock Lesnar isn't supposed to appear for a few weeks. He's going to be on the Monday Night Raw, which is going to be in Pittsburgh, and then he's going to be on the go-home WrestleMania 31 Monday Night Raw, which is going to be in Los Angeles, and then of course he'll be on the WrestleMania 31 show, and then for some reason he's scheduled to appear on the Raw after WrestleMania. To me, honestly, the Raw after WrestleMania, if he's not going to be staying with WWE, is a little bit of a wasted show. Seeing how Brock Lesnar doesn't wrestle for free, I don't see what you could do with Brock Lesnar on that show in case you're just trying to save that as an emergency sort of situation, and maybe you're just using it as a burner and you're just not going to use them and you're just going to pay him for it and just say it's a day. Seeing how a lot of people think that Roman Reigns is going to be beating, I don't even think a lot of people, everyone knows that Roman Reigns is going to be beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. And from there, he's going to go on and be the next, Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Cena of the company and be the number one poster boy. Of course, winning the title at WrestleMania would guarantee you to be a star for the foreseeable future, unless your name is Daniel Bryan for some reason. And then you're going to be in some sort of Intercontinental Championship six-pack challenge, or maybe be having some match against Sheamus in a match that nobody is looking forward to seeing. But of course, you always have to let the storyline play out. Honestly, in my mind, I was bouncing around storylines that WWE could be doing from listening to Bauer and Pollock. They were both going into the fact of why the WWE Network isn't covering this with some sort of a breaking news story. We've seen, breaking news on the network for Roman Reigns' injury, Macho Man's announcement into the Hall of Fame, Dallas announcing that they were going to host WrestleMania 32. Why they can't have some sort of an in-studio, I don't want to call it a dirt sheet report, but basically just going over the stories that are out there that fans might be finding on the internet, you could actually get WWE's side of the story and going from there, and maybe even blowing up the fact of turning it into more of an angle than it actually already is, with basically, Vince or somebody talking for Vince talking about that they were actually in the back negotiating a deal and that Brock Lesnar walked out on the WWE. You don't want to make Brock look bad, but honestly, you could be playing off the fact of what happened last year with CM Punk, where CM Punk took off the Raw after the Royal Rumble and sort of became the biggest story of WrestleMania 30 when the guy wasn't even there. People were looking to see if CM Punk was going to be coming to terms with WWE, trying to work something out where he could come back to the company and, work in front of his fans instead. Fans were wondering, was he going to be at Elimination Chamber? You had, wrestlers, even like Stone Cold Steve Austin as a podcast host, going on the record saying that it would make a lot of sense for CM Punk to return at WrestleMania 30. Where he goes from there, whether if it's coming out and saving Daniel Bryan from Triple H during the triple threat for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event, or whether if it's coming out and making sure that Daniel Bryan beats Triple H to sort of add fuel on the fire. There already was of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan had the feud already, but throwing fuel on the fire of CM Punk versus Triple H is a behind the scenes story. Honestly, I think you could be adding to speculation of fans thinking that Brock actually walked out on the WWE. You could have Daniel Bryan just licking his chops, basically adding fuel on the fire, just saying if Brock wants to walk out, I would love to fill his shoes and be in the WrestleMania 31 main event. It's what the fans want to see. I'm not afraid of fighting Roman Reigns again, and this time I'm going to learn from my past mistakes. Roman might have been the better man at Fastlane, but I'm going to be the better man at WrestleMania. I've already showed that I can deliver in the main event, and I'm going to deliver again. Paul Heyman, I think, would just love the opportunity to make up any sort of a promo out of this storyline, basically speaking for his clients, Brock Lesnar, basically going into the fact that, there are other offers on the table. I mean, these are things that even Triple H have gone onto on the Stone Cold podcast, which was shown on the WWE Network. So fans already know that Brock has unfinished business, which might be going back to UFC and fighting. Honestly, in my opinion, if you're Brock Lesnar, and you can get paid a lot of money from Vince McMahon on WWE to, wrestle, and I'm not calling wrestling fake fighting. Guys get hurt a lot. But in UFC, dudes are really fucking hitting you, and dudes are really trying to take you out. In WWE, guys are going out there, and they might hit you. They're trying to have a good match. There's a chance you might get hurt. But Brock has been doing this for a long time. And UFC, they might string it out where maybe they're trying to get 3 fights out of Brock Lesnar to make some big money. Maybe Brock fights once a year. But in WWE, easily with the sort of contract that he has for the amount of dates, where Brock wrestles most of the time 3 times a year, comes out there and delivers some promos on Monday Night Raw where he's got to hop on a jet and fly from his house to wherever Raw is that week, seems a whole lot better than going out there and having some dude drilling you in the kidneys, punching you in the stomach, where people have known that you've had a lot of problems in the past, trying to make you crumple over and fall down in the match. You've already got beat to the point once where you retired in the ring because you said your body couldn't hold up. You're 3 years older than you were at your last UFC fight. I think that WWE is the easiest money for you, and we'll see where we can go from there. So, peace out, everybody. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you on down the road.